Look, I'm fighting for the Constitution. I'm fighting for the same thing that you three. I watch you all the time, and same thing that you do. You fight for freedom. You fight for your country. These people are sick. They're sick. They're deranged. I talk about the enemy on the outside and the enemy from within. Mm-hmm. So you have Russia, you have China. But if you have a smart president, you always handle him quite easily, actually. We have a lot of advantages. But the enemy from within, they are doing damage to this country. They want open borders. They want high interest rates. They now want to quadruple your taxes. Quadruple. All my life I watched politics, and it was always like politicians want to lower taxes, not quadruple them.
Right.
There's a whole sickness going on right now. So we're doing really well. It was a tough venue. We tried to get out of the venue. We tried to get out of the judge. But we tried to get out of both. Wouldn't even think about it. So we had probably maybe the worst area in the whole country for me, in terms of vote. I'm sure if I sat down and explained it to that section of the world, we could probably make progress. But one of the worst sections, and they always bring them in these sections. D.C., there, yep. Places where Republicans, not just me, Republicans get like virtually no votes. But the good news is that I think we've set a record beyond all records for fundraising. That's like a poll.
Let's go. 200 million.
Just before I got
200
in,
million.
We're 6 points higher than we were before. So I don't know if that holds up. I mean, I'm just not sure. But people get it. It's a scam.
Super scam.
And the Republican Party is really, they've stuck. They stick together in this. They see it's weaponization of the Justice Department, of the FBI. And, that's all coming out of Washington. You may think it's brag.
I'm going to say some of the good Republicans, if he's talking about, I don't know if he's talking about just the Republican people that, the regular common day people that are conservative, or he's talking about the Republican people that hold office, because some of those people aren't good either. Some of those people need to be Democrats. So I wonder if he's talking about everybody.
Good question.
Take a look at who opened the case. I'm not allowed to talk about it because I have a gag order. I'm probably, I guess, the first presidential nominee and the leading crooked Joe by a lot that's not allowed to talk. Maybe they're doing me a big favor. Who knows? But I'm not allowed to talk. I'm gagged. Nobody's ever heard of it. It's all coming out. It's weaponization, and it's a very dangerous thing. We've never had that in this country. They do have it in other countries, in South American countries. You know a little bit about it, right?
Well, that actually leads me to my question. I think for a lot of Americans, what's happened to you feels foreign. Like, this has never happened here before.
Right.
No, not at all.
But for Hispanic Americans, people coming from Latin America, this feels very familiar.
Yeah.
And in those countries, people are imprisoned. Instead of going to the ballot box and fighting there, they're on house arrest. They're told they can't run for office. What is your message? And by the way, I think a lot of Hispanic Americans, I hear from them, they're scared about what they see. What's your message to them about what happened to you and about how scared they are that our country is turning into the countries that they left behind, the corrupt, dysfunctional countries they left.
And funny, you still have people out there that are Hispanic that's still saying that, oh, he hates us Latin, Spanish people. I'm like, no, people ain't thinking like that. It's only a small people that still, I don't know how many people I haven't polled the world, but it's weird. It's a weird anomaly to me to be in this day and age and still think he hates Hispanic people.
And they are scared, and they're great people, very entrepreneurial, great energy. And as you know, I'm doing very well with them. I mean, beyond anybody. I don't think anybody's ever had polling.
Do you think this is why, a little bit?
I think a little bit. And they've always liked me, and I've always liked them. I've done well from the beginning. In 2016, I won the entire border along Texas, and they're all like 85%. And
I don't know where that man was getting his info from.
And now I'm leading. I think I'm leading over this guy that can't put two sentences together that's destroying our country.
Yeah.
Right.
And they got the audacity to say Trump can't put his tree.
And he's a danger to the country. And, they have misinformation. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. It's just words. He doesn't even know
Same
what it
old
means.
leftist
But it's like
thinking
their slogan, I'm a threat to democracy. I'm the opposite. They're the threat to democracy.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to return to the verdict, and I want to explore something you said several times already in the conversation. You've referenced these people. I'm sure you've seen the video of Joe Biden when he was asked about the verdict, and he gave sort of a smirk to the camera.
Terrible. Remember, Bragg didn't want to do the case. He came out. He said, there's no case, and how can you have a witness like so-and-so? I'm not allowed to mention the name. Can you believe this? This guy's allowed to have shows, television shows. I'm not allowed to mention the name. It's so unfair. But regardless, you have to You have to really play the hand that you're dealt. And then you had a jury that was, from a certain persuasion. Would have been hard to do no matter what. But I did absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, absolutely. Think of it. I hate what they say, a bookkeeping, this and that. It's not. It's called, think of it, expense. I use the word expense. Legal expense. I pay a lawyer. He wasn't a fixer. He was a lawyer at the time. I pay a lawyer.
Okay.
And he's a lawyer. It's called legal expense.
Okay.
A bookkeeper, without ever speaking to me, because she did the right thing, who's been with me for years, marks it down as legal expense. In other words, I paid a legal expense.
Oh.
It's marked down as a legal expense. And they say that's a fraud. What am I going to call it? Did you ever see a ledger? Do you ever study accounting? The line's like about an inch long and 1/8 of an inch wide. You can't write the story. But there is no story.
Ooh,
if you pay
I
a
see what
legal
you're saying.
expense and you write it down as a legal expense, and then they indict you and they go to a grand jury, and they don't use Bob Casella's testimony. They use almost none of it. They didn't want him before the grand jury because he's very persuasive. This judge didn't want him to talk. They shouldn't have allowed certain people to testify. It was totally wrong that they did that. So everyone tells me this is the easiest case they've ever seen to overturn, but they don't care because they want to last till after the election. Now, the only problem they have is that so far my poll numbers have gone up. You explain this to me because I don't. Pete maybe can explain it. Maybe Will. I don't know. Maybe Will can. They're smart in Texas, right? But the poll numbers have gone up substantially.
Because he's reached the people, and the people see the BS, and they're like, no, this is the same. This is the same BS you need to run from, because we see how they're taking the country, and you see how they're doing a full president. How they gonna do regular Americans? They're gonna do it bad, and stuff keep gonna get worse and woke and ridiculous. And this country is already kind of going a little on the backward side. So
yeah, this is crazy.
Actually, I don't know if that's going to remain that way.
You changed your tone at some point during the trial. I would say maybe a bit more hopeful in the beginning, and then towards the end you said something to the effect of even Mother Teresa couldn't be acquitted in this venue. Was there a moment in the trial that you felt like it turned, or you saw that it was headed in a certain direction?
Well, when you object to something, your lawyers object, good lawyers, professional lawyers, good records, nice people. I've had a lot of lawyers that weren't nice, and sometimes you're better off that way. These are really fine people. They'd object. Not accepted, not accepted, not accepted. When the government, meaning the DA, Bragg, when he said something, all right, good, that's fine. Go on, more. But the main thing is this, that this was turned down by the Southern District. This is over years. This could have been brought 7 years ago. They tried to rush it because they wanted it before the election. But this could have been brought 7 years ago, but they didn't have any intention. A case like this has never been brought before. And there's never been a case where a state has gone after a federal election. In other words, that's for a federal. That's for like the Southern District to go. Southern District turned it down. We got clearance from the FEC, Federal Election Commission. Clearance. They're suing, saying we violated a thing, but they gave us clearance. But the charge was written, it was like a weird charge. You'd have a little of this, a little of that, do a little of this, throw a little, mix it up.
Set the arraignment date for 4 days before the RNC.
Yeah, well, that's part of the game.
It is. Some have suggested you could appeal straight to the Supreme Court because of the special nature of this case. When it comes to the legal maze that you're still facing, and the judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail.
It
How
could.
do you face what that could look
I'm
like?
okay with it. I saw
wow.
one of my lawyers the other day on television saying,
Come
no,
on,
you
Trump.
don't want to do that to the president. I said, you don't beg for anything. You just, the way it is. Think of it.
And on top of that, what I realized, he has Secret Service for him for the rest of his life. So they were like, yeah, y'all could, they can say that he gonna get locked up, but then what? With a full team of Secret Service people while in prison? That's crazy. So you're gonna lock up innocent men that have to protect him? It wouldn't make sense. They're not gonna do that. The most they can do is house arrest, and then people gonna vote
Come
him
to
like
him.
crazy.
They're gonna come to where he is.
But that's in a prison system. It's no way they're gonna, because Secret Service will
2024.
trump the prison system.
You got video cameras. So, this is the day and age. Well, okay, house arrest. What does that mean? People are going to come to where he is for the interviews, for whatever the business is. So what?
And that's just, and his vote
Oh
gonna be
my
ramped
gosh.
up. You're gonna see him,
Over,
waving,
yeah.
talking. It's gonna be present in interviews from his house. People they're gonna love him just like they are. They're gonna vote for him. The numbers gonna go up. Y'all, the Democrats, they screwed themselves on this one. They hurt themselves on this.
Yep.
They have all my books. You know, they went to, for 5 years, they sued me getting my tax returns, right? At the end of 5 years, they got them. The Supreme Court actually gave it to them. That was the end of it. That was it. They never found anything. Right. They hired the best accounting firms. I had a pure gold firm. They call it a gold-rated firm. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Who knows? But with all that stuff, for years you heard about my tax.
They never looked into the Clinton Foundation.
And they never found it. They never went all the way with the Clinton Foundation. They never went all the way with the Clinton Foundation, which is sort of interesting, isn't it? But so that could happen. I don't know that the public would stand it. You know, I'm not sure the public would stand for it. With a,
if you tried house arrest or
I think it would be tough for the public to take. You know, at a certain point, there's a breaking point.
People ask you, why do you do this? How can you do this? I mean, not to mention the rally after rally, the energy. But maybe the question isn't how do you do this over and over, but how does your family do this? All the obstacles.
Yeah, for real.
You know,
like your wife or
these are
something.
things you care about. Your ambitions for the country. What about everybody around you?
So I think in many ways it's tougher on them than it is on me. They're good people, all of them, everyone. I have a wonderful.
I like how he uses the same reference, even for his own family, where people don't think like, oh, he just fluffed the conversation. No, that's just how he talk. That's how he move. He like, they're my family. They're good people. They're good people. Y'all good people.
They
like
are.
he just like
because they are.
No. That's one. No, I agree. But it's just like he's even killed across the board, and I think that's what's so dope. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful wife who has to listen to this stuff all the time. They do that for this reason. They do that. All these salacious names that they put in of these people. And I'm not even allowed to defend myself because of a gag order. Think of it. But they put this stuff in to create havoc. These are bad people. I know everything they're doing. I know every move they make. I get it. But a lot of people don't. But it's tougher. I think it's probably, in many ways, it's tougher on my family than it is in me.
how's Melania doing?
She's fine.
Right.
I think it's very hard for her. I mean, she's fine. But it's, you know, she has to read all this crap.
What about Barron? People started to focus on Barron recently.
He's amazing, actually, in a certain way. You know, he's tall, good-looking guy. He's a very good student.
Let's go.
And he's applied to colleges and gets into everywhere he goes. You know, he's very sought after from the standpoint. He's a very smart guy. He's a very tall guy, but he's a great kid. He's cool. He's pretty cool, I'll tell you. You know, it's very interesting. The colleges, you know, 6 months ago, you look at a college and you sort of want a certain college, and then you see all of these colleges are rioting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not it.
And maybe you want to go to a different kind of a college because there's plenty of colleges that we also like that
Christian school
are different and they don't riot.
Christian college.
That's the first part of our interview with former President Donald Trump. We'll be playing it throughout the morning. Again, it was an hour-and-a-half interview. That's a 10-minute chunk.
He is.
And throughout the morning, we'll be playing different portions.
When people say they don't like him, I still yet to
That's
have
ridiculous.
to know
It don't make sense.
what
How can you not like this dude?
they
How can you
don't
not like him?
like. And I think it's because of the brashness and the directness of
That's
his
what-
tone. But oh well, who cares? Get over it. Just get over it. This is the president of your country. You want a weak person? We already got that. We already got a little weakling man that can't think and got people telling him what to say and helping him. The man says pause on the cotton picking teleprompter now. Come on. So you want somebody that's strong and who's fortified and who's not going to take any you know what and let people know he got a backbone and he's willing to do what's required for this country to still remain, you know, in the forefront. Yet these people want somebody that I ain't gonna say that.
Pacify.
I ain't gonna say that.
No, say it.
No, I'm gonna say this though. They want someone who's going to fall into.
I think you kicking the camera. Yeah.
Who's going to fall into the things that they want that's not the best for the country because of selfish
and they want it to be
and
sweet.
distorted reasons.
I want it to sound soft. You got to say it to
distorted
me real good.
Reasons. Child, please. Who cares? Get your feelings. Facts over feelings, great people.
That's why I don't like
put your feelings to the side.
But you just said it. What I don't favor is what I learn is people, let's be true. Let's be real. Y'all not going for the man because y'all don't like how he speaks. And that's it. Y'all really, truly don't even care about what's the trials and stuff. Y'all are sensitive to his tone and his personality.
Okay, and maybe some people didn't like the situation that happened when he was in office that dealt with the COVID. Oh well, this country ain't never been in no pandemic
Republicans
before.
got mad too. People, conservative got mad too when he you talking about when he agreed about for the shot when he was on board.
But just certain things he said when he was in office, because not really. I don't think he actually had a clue as to how serious the situation was.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on that. That's what I think.
And then dealing with Fauci, they
coming out with stuff all the time saying
so I mean. But okay, let's just say he may not have handled that in the best way. But what other? I mean, I'm curious to see what other presidents would have done if they had been in office.
And that's why that's why I'm saying some people turn their back on Trump during his presidency. At that time when all that's going on, we weren't. We were on a different party, and we kind of had gotten to the middle by that point. But we were like, yeah.
Wait a minute, let's.
Hold on. But I'm saying we were had gotten we weren't Trump, but we kind of got to a point where like, oh, so he kind of picked onto but a lot of people on the conservative side were upset with him. But the thing is, some of y'all people that get upset with this particular person will never in your life have to make big decisions. You never in your life will see that a picture that affects anybody else but you and your spouse. So the thing is, you can't say things that you don't know. Now we know Biden, there's a bunch of stuff going on there. But when you go look at Trump, and if he picks something that y'all know that the left was going for, and he picks it, I believe that we know that it's serious. It was serious.
And two, I remember hearing this and also reading this, is that Trump wasn't even a factor or even a threat until he became president.
And everybody loved him.
He was a businessman. He was doing his thing.
However,
he was running.
With Tupac?
I didn't see that one.
Clip with him and
However,
Tupac.
He was handling his business and doing things. There's not going to be a single person on the planet that you're going to always agree with every move that they make. And then if we're not in those areas and we don't have privy to that information and we're not around those types of people on a regular basis, we clueless and as to really
that's a fact.
What's going on and how things and what the culture is like
that's
behind the scenes and how it's really supposed to go.
Yeah.
So I think people should refrain unless you've had an opportunity sitting down and actually talking with him and meeting him. But every person that meets him of all races that actually has spoken to him and met him, from the UFC fighters to entertainers and celebrities, say he's a likable person.
Yeah.
He's real. And that's what give me the real all day. Don't give me the fake plastic.
And honestly,
I can't speak a sentence.
And honestly, I think that if Joe Biden is in a close room with Donald Trump and Donald Trump reached to shake his hand, Joe Biden shake his hand, and gentlemen like. But I think if it was what the problem is, I think the most pressure come with Joe Biden. It comes from Kamala and the Obama administration. It comes from us colored people are the ones that are pressing that old man. And I think that's what the issue is when you have somebody else push. He ain't the best. He's by far one of the worst presidents. Joe Biden. But I think the pressure is coming from Kamala and the Obama administration.
Well, it very well could be,
I ain't going for no Joe Biden.
That's what I feel.
I'm just saying. I think that's where the pressure comes from.
He's standing up and holding on for his for dear life, and he's like, "Please let this be over for me." But he's the front man, so he has to continue to put on the game face. We already know that. We know that.
Being equal skin color, whether it being a white or black, doesn't equal to crap. It's all about the character of the person. Your skin color don't matter, and we learned that through the Obama administration, that just because you got black skin don't mean you support black people.
Is those all the clips for that one video, or are you separating them out?
Separating them out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, man. 2024, be more.
Talk less.
We'll see you on the next one. All right.
Be smart, great people.